So the other, just a couple little things wrapping up, and I know these are basics for a lot of people, but again, I'm terrible with details, so these little mistakes and pieces are going to help a lot, smoothing those out ahead of time really early in the board letter process. So again, with the ordinance titles, making sure whatever you've committed to on your public notice is the same ordinance title that's going to be referenced in the board letter, and that's going to be on the attachment, because we've seen some discrepancies there. Also for maps, please use GIS and not Google Maps. We have a wonderful GIS team who would be happy to help pull those things for you if you need that. So that's really important that we have these official maps that, it's not just something we pulled off of Google. And for board letters involving projects, typically we always have a one-page, like 8.5 by 11 PDF of like a vicinity map so that people in general know where we're talking about. Kind of tying into that, when you're referencing locations in your board letter, it's not, saying the district number is fantastic, but also saying what community that they're in. So that way, if people don't know where Rainbow is, if people don't know where Elfin Forest is, or where the streets are, you could say Elfin Forest, and then they'll kind of know. So for map attachments, for all attachments, things should be under 10 megabytes. But for maps specifically, if you need to break those up, that's something that the clerk looks for. And the reason why we do that is for readability for the customers and for making sure that when they're loading things up at home, they have the ability to load it on their computer. And again, if you have, I'll log in. If you have layering on your maps, the clerk actually doesn't necessarily like when we do that, because again, it goes back to the readability, and if the PDF loads all the layers at once, it makes it difficult for the public to understand exactly what we're looking at. So those are just some basic things. And again, if you have a large or oversized map, call your staff officer, see if you need to print out the big version, if a CD is going to be okay. We can work with you and the clerk on making sure that all of the appropriate documents get to the board as they need to. And then everything similar to ordinance titles, the title of the board letter, the subject, it needs to be the exact same in the subject heading, that bold first page, as it is on all of the headers on all of the other pages. And so I've seen where somebody's tweaked a couple words here or there and the clerk catches that. They're fantastic. And so just making sure that those things are consistent. And then I think Aaron might get into this a little bit later, but building in a time cushion. So if you don't expect to be able to go to the board on the last day possible that you need that board action voted on. Try to give yourself a couple meetings, because you might have a situation where we don't have quorum, or we don't have 4 people, or we just need to shift some stuff around. So try to build those things in as you're thinking through your board letter process and give yourself some cushion, so that'll save a lot of stress on the back end. And then the only other thing, and I don't have to necessarily pull it up right now, but the readability statistics in Microsoft Word, I sent that with part of the board letter backup that I emailed to everybody today. And so what you can do when you turn that on, whenever you do spelling and grammar check on any Word document, it'll pop up with this analysis of how easy your document is to read. And so my suggestion, I've got some feedback from the last time I suggested this, maybe don't do the whole document, but highlight your overview and then do the spelling and grammar check and see what your readability is for your overview. Or just highlight the background section and see where you're at there. Because if you do the whole document, you have the fiscal impact statement, you have the recommendations piece of it, you have all that legalese that's going to really skew you. Whoops. So make sure that you are highlighting those pieces of it. And look, right, just like a little beep. So our goal really, and with media, their goal is the 8th grade level. And I know we're not going to probably get our stuff to an 8th grade level, because we do have technical pieces, and it is really important that we're accurate, and that we don't want to compromise accuracy in our board letters. But if we can try to get some of our board letters to the high school level in that range, that would be wonderful. Because we have people, I don't think you, my personal opinion, you shouldn't have to have a college degree to know what your government is doing. And if you're not a native English speaker, that's going to help, that's going to skew things for you as well to know what your government is doing. So trying to bring that down below the 12th grade level is great. And again, this is just a goal. Don't, hang yourself up over it if this isn't something that you can accomplish and it's, it's not, your board letter's not working its way through the process, because you do have timelines and deadlines, but that's really something we should be striving to achieve, is readability for all of our customers. And so with that, if there's not any questions, we're just busting right through this. So we'll bring up Erin, and I think we'll be ready to go.